call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. Got a lot to talk about. Hope everybody's excited. I know I am. This will be the last episode of Future Financial Strategies for the 2023 calendar year. Jeez. I don't know. We've been doing this an entire year. That's crazy because the year blew by. It's going into 2024. And I like to say that we spent the year running the numbers up. The first episode of Future Financial Strategies, we are going to do a breakdown of the portfolio. We're going to do a financial breakdown. We're gonna probably, that's going to be a little longer episode. I might bust out my spreadsheet and we'll run month to month. And that actually could probably be an episode in and of itself, is just the financial breakdown and the yearly recap of what we did. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. There's just so much work that's been done. And then you get to the end of the year and you get to tally up the wins and the losses while you're getting ready to plan for next year and making the projections for next year. And the projections for next year are getting pretty stupid, I would say. Just the numbers that we're looking at from the crypto space, if they start cutting back on inflation, housing prices, considering I own one, we're looking at a lot of opportunities. They might be turning the money tap back on, which, we kind of turtled up. We've been borrowing internally mostly. We have done a little bit of leveraging to get ahead in some positions, but all in all, once that tap opens back up, it is game on, people. Now, to get into the meat of the conversation, we're just jumping right in today. Why Bitcoin? Why now? Now, there's a lot of reasons why Bitcoin, but when people ask me why I'm interested in Bitcoin and specifically the crypto space, because you'll see me talking about a lot of other stuff, including Bitcoin, especially during a bull run, because that's the opportunity to move the needle ahead. But when people ask me why I'm so gung-ho about Bitcoin and crypto, it's the lack of middlemen. It's the opportunity. It's the insane growth. I mean, when I look at Bitcoin and I look at how much stuff I can buy with Bitcoin that I have now, having been in the space for over 10 years, an entire decade, it's another thing that we're rounding off this year. This is going to be year think we're going on like 12, over a decade in the space. Well, 2013. So this will be year 11. Year 11. Because like I started in during a bull run was when I got introduced to it. And I've been here ever since. But the buying power of the Bitcoin that I got in 2013 that I was mining versus the buying power of the Bitcoin that I hold now, and the growth of that buying power against the deterioration of the buying power of the dollars I could have potentially held in a bank account, getting, well, at the time, 0% or 0.25%. Now it's up to 5%, and people are feeling like they're really doing something. I'm like, you're not, though, because and I'm gonna, I don't like coming without receipts, because I understand how people feel about, oh, you gotta show receipts. We gotta have receipts. So we're gonna jump in here. Let me make this bigger. Let's see what this looks like on the screen now. Okay, so I do need to bring that up. Boop. Close that. Bring that up. So obviously, when looking at this screen, you can always go in here. This is a simple Google search. This is from Forbes. This is from Finfold. My bad. But you can look up any price chart that shows the depreciation of the dollar and the appreciation of Bitcoin. And you can find a chart similar to this or exactly this chart, because the numbers are the numbers. This is the blue line in this chart that we're looking at here is the dollar. Now, if you look up there at the left, that's the original buying power. And that's back a little bit before, I'd say, that's probably 1960. And you can see it's just a consistent decline in how much purchasing power the dollar has up until, and this only goes up to, and this goes up to now. But I mean, we've pretty much, it just keeps getting worse. Like there was 1 year where it blipped, where the purchasing power of a dollar went up a little bit, and that was at the 2008 financial crash. that was the last time it went up in buying power. And then you see in 2010, Bitcoin comes on the scene, and it has appreciated, meaning you can buy more things, more goods. The dollar is just, you could just buy an order of magnitude less things. I notice this in my existence. Like I see the growth. I see as somebody who tracks their net worth every month, you can see the growth. Obviously, you do hit these snags and dips, but at no point was I in a better position keeping my money in dollars than in Bitcoin. That is one reason. Now, the other reason is actually the same reason. Now, this is something that it's interesting because our financial gurus can't seem to find this. It's TradingView for those of you, because most of them talk about being in the markets and price appreciation and assets and whatnot. And right now, at the recording of this video, obviously these numbers change regularly. We are at $43,441 per TradingView. And you can look at this price chart, and it's just showing the value of Bitcoin going up and going up. So literally, unless you bought today or you're in it this week, and if you bought this week or today, we're almost to the point to where there's no red on this chart. It's all green. If you've been holding it for a month, you're up 16.66%, which is awesome for our accelerated savings. We're over that. But if you've only been holding it for a month, if you've been in for 6 months, 42% gains. If you've had it for a whole year to date, 162.92% gains. If you've had it for a year, 12 months, not to date, just the 12-month, it's up 160.26%. If you've had it for 5 years, it is up 1,018.79%. All time is 300,624.77%. There's no point in time, literally, unless you just bought the last bull run peaks. If you bought the last bull run at the top, when everybody comes rushing in because you guys didn't want to buy, at what's the price here? See, this thing is it's too much going on. You didn't want to buy at 10,778. You wanted to buy in and get on the train at 58,000. You're upside down. If you wanted to get on the train at the second peak of $61,359, you are down. I understand why you're complaining. If you bought on the descent because you thought it was going to go back up at $45,517, you are down. I understand. Outside of that, if you bought at 47, which was one of the peaks, and rode it up to 60 and then didn't sell or whatever, I don't believe in selling, but like whatever you're doing, I understand. I gotcha. But that's the only way that you're upside down in Bitcoin. It's the only way you've quote unquote lost money in Bitcoin. It's the best savings vehicle that I could see. It is the retirement plan. It is going to continue to go up in value. That's the reason I'm involved. That's the reason I'm an advocate for it, because it's only done good things for me in my existence. Like, I've never been like, gosh darn, I hate Bitcoin. It's not ever happened to date. As the market's been bad, we do Bitcoin, we do real estate, we do paper assets. We want to collect all the bags, but you definitely want to jump at the opportunities that are the best. And for me, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are the best opportunities. So that's where my eggs are. That's why I consider my lane. Obviously, I am involved in home automation. Like, I have my career. That's where the income comes from. The income generating vehicle right now is that. I enjoy doing that, but like, the growth there isn't the same as Bitcoin. Like, basically, if there was a way for me to just manifest money and buy Bitcoin, that would be the play. Unfortunately, you got to go work. You got to go work hard. So we doing all the work to get all the cryptocurrency we can for this bull run. Because as Bitcoin goes up, it drags the entire market up, and the 5 to 10x that Bitcoin could potentially do this halving will be overshadowed during the bull run, the peak of the frenzy, by all the things that are more risk, more reward. So we're doing the more risk, more reward play. Obviously, we're on the path to get our 32 Ethereum. So we are trying to add to our current stash of, I think we ended the year with so we have 4 that we're borrowing against. And then hold on a second. Let me look and see where we're at. So we had the 4, and then at present, let's see here. So that's like 5. I think we're sitting at probably, so there's like 5, and it's like 6, probably about 7. And I was hoping to end, like, we hit where we wanted to. I was hoping to end out the year a little bit more, but honestly, we redeployed back into the market. So technically speaking, with the portfolio that we have right now, like, if we condensed everything into Ethereum, we would have, hold on a second, let's get these two prices up here. Oh, oops. Do some calculations. We got to do our calculations. What's bit? Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah. So if I wouldn't have redistributed and we would have just went straight into Ethereum, we would be at, like, if I would have closed out all the positions, we would have cleared the 10. So that's good. I do probably at some point, as soon as we hit halving, I'm gonna have to kick some more over into the holding position. That's probably what we're gonna do, is start chipping away with this thing. But yeah, so we did that. I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy about where we're going with that. But that's why I'm into Bitcoin. So the next part of the show, we're gonna go bring my big old mug up in here, get my notes, because I got notes. You gotta have notes. I went through, was scouring, looking for some crazy predictions for the next part, the 2024 predictions. And they're not necessarily my predictions, because my predictions are boringly conservative for the moves that I'm making. And the way that I navigate my portfolio, considering that we are trying to stack as much Ethereum as we can to hit our 32 ETH for the retirement cold storage. And we will have that in a staked Ethereum position. So it'll be like a slow grower. It'll just sit there and do what it does. But with that said, we will. So, like, my predictions are boring. So I like to give you guys what the predictions of other people are, because everybody gives you the hopium. And my predictions, you'll be like, well, why are your predictions so conservative? And it's like, well, I start converting over to stuff that I'm going to be long on. So the portfolio starts shifting, and we're going to start moving around and looking for more opportunities. So I'm not going to probably be writing stuff till the tippy top, unless it's something that I really want to hold on to that I'm not planning on converting over at all. But considering that we're trying to get that 32 Ethereum, if we start getting some good pushes towards those numbers, I'm probably going to just start converting stuff over a little bit early, unless it's in an income play. So that's what we're looking at. Hopefully by having, well, actually, I'm not even going to say hopefully. It's just whenever we get to the previous all-time high, that is when I will cease to stop actively buying in the market, and I'll just be flipping positions based on what we're generating within the market in the crypto space, and I'll be focusing 100% back over into traditional finance, because while all of you are coming into the frenzy over in crypto, I will be strategically going where you're not, which will be the traditional finance market, because that's going to look exceptionally boring to everyone, which means that that's where the deals are going to be. So I'll still be in the crypto market, but we're going to be in the crypto market from within the crypto market. And like the positions that we've made, we will be feasting or famining off of said positions. Now, the first thing that I wanted to touch on is going to be the crypto gaming. Crypto gaming is kind of what we were originally told. It was a narrative last bull run, and it said it was going to push us over the top. But I mean, they didn't make any games that anybody wanted to play. There's some games that look pretty interesting. There's some games that like were in production for a long time. And you know, even recently throughout the bear market, I did find a couple of games that looked fun, but like they're not like polished like if you were going to play an Xbox game or a console game or even a really good computer game. Like, I mean, they're not on that level yet. And that's fine. That is fine. But one of the things that I found very interesting in my scouring of the interwebs is that 1.4 billion between May and November has been invested into the Web3 gaming ecosystem markets. So there's some funds trying to get something to catch going into this market. Another interesting note is, and this is the reason that the games aren't fully polished, is the majority of the games are either indie or mid-sized games. AA and AAA funded games are only making up 6% of the market. So there's not a lot of really big players in this market yet, but they're going to be coming. And eventually, and like what I'm hoping is somebody, one of these indie or mid-sized gaming companies makes the game that pops off, so that way somebody from within the industry, somebody from within this market, somebody who's been building through the bear markets, not just coming in for the bull market hype to collect money and then dip out and not actually release their project. A lot of games did that. Hopefully somebody from within the market that's been building in the market, that cares about the market. I'd like to see somebody, one of us, win. Just leave it there. The narrative and the ecosystem is going to be based on the user experience and how fun the game is. Go figure. People want to play fun games, right? Well, there needs to be a blockchain-based game that is also fun. It needs to have a good user experience. There needs to be good story. It needs to be a game. I don't understand. Like, so I was like looking through these articles, and like there, like people were touching on that. Like the games need to be fun. Like people play games that aren't fun. Like it's a game. Like I understand it's Web3 and like we're all here to like make money, but like it's a game. Like at the end of the day, it's a game. We all grew up playing video games. The people who are making the video games probably grew up playing video games. Like, you know what the expectation is. You know what the assignment is. You need to make something that people want to play. It needs to be fun. It needs to have a good user experience. If it's running a story, it needs to be story based. I mean, there's plenty of examples of fun things that are super addictive. I mean, there's a lot of trading card games and a lot of battle games in the space. Like, you've played Pokemon Go. You've played Pokemon. You know what they're looking for if it's a pet-based battle game. If it's a card trading game, you've played Magic the Gathering. Like, Magic the Gathering online. Like, it's a game. Like, they have card tournaments. People are super into it. It's really fun. It's enticing. It keeps you stimulated. Do your job. Like we know what the assignment is here, people. You just need to make it. People will play it. It's that simple. They're expecting many of the blockchain games that we've been seeing in development, that we've seen all the nice videos for, that may or may not be actually polished, to release during the bull run, which is a normal expectation. You definitely don't want to release into a not hype market, because then people aren't going to buy your tokens. They're not going to play your game. Well, they might play your game if it's a good game and it's fun. But the peak of the money flow is during the bull run. So they're expecting a lot of these games to release in 2024, and we might have to do a little spin-off that's going to be a game review. We might have to do that. It'd be something good for me to do with the Twitch channel. So we might be doing a Web3 based games review channel that'll be primarily focused on Twitch. And I might dedicate a night or two a week just to hop on Twitch and play some video games, and talk about it and see what it's got. Let's get into some juicy crypto exchange predictions. Van Eck is predicting that Binance will lose its #1 spot as the world leading crypto exchange. Apparently he's got a lot of people on the heels. The tweet though mentioned Coinbase. There ain't enough people in America that are in crypto to make it the world's #1 crypto exchange, and like people outside of here ain't trying to pay those fees. Coinbase is great for beginners in America. They are not an international player like that. Like I like the fact that he included Coinbase in that conversation was interesting to me. I was like, it also gave it way less credence than, and he also named a exchange called BitGet that I've never heard of. 10 years, never heard of BitGet. Like I don't like they're just saying things. Like I think that this is a piece of American propaganda, because America's had a feather in their cap against Coinbase from the get-go because of their association to a certain company with yellow stars and red flags, and because the person's from there. Which, capitalism, man, it's a great exchange. I mean, if you're going to use it, before they shut down their ability to have the coin selection, made them kick all the American people off the international app and put us in this restricted, you've got access to 40 coins ecosystem that they then went out of their way to ruin. They even messed that up. Like, they didn't want them doing business here at all. And they thought that they were not going to do business here at all. And then they didn't want them here. And they basically have made it to where you can barely do anything on it. And it's terrible. But I think this is more or less propaganda than prediction. Like, it almost discredits everything that comes out of Van Eck, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to listen to them now. Like, if you're parroting the Matrix narrative, fine, but I'm not going to listen to you because we're unplugged from that. What's another one? So there was another tweet in regards to a wild, actually it's not even that wild, but it's a high number. And like, when I think high numbers, like I'm like, that'd be nice, because then I wouldn't have to go do manual labor ever again. Like, probably ever. Like, I go get me a nice remote job. I could stay at home. I could work on projects around the house and go to the gym. And like, that's basically all I would do. I would just work at home. But the Bitcoin therapist, who Twitter account, follow him over on X, formerly known as Twitter, says that BTC Bitcoin under 250K, with all the news and all the things that are coming together and the stars that are aligning in regards to the Bitcoin halving coming up, that he can't really see Bitcoin being under 250K, which means that he's expecting it to be well over that. And I'm like, oh, like, and as we're getting towards the end of the year and we're going into January, we're going into the new year, 2024, we're going into the halving. We're supposed to be getting a confirmation on this ETF that's coming up. I've heard numbers as high as 400, 500, 1,000. And I'm like, and literally, when I hear those numbers, I'm not even thinking about the Bitcoin that I have. I'm thinking about this altcoin portfolio that we're building, that we're tracking on Crypto Portfolio Updates. Like, because at 250, at 100,000, if Bitcoin goes to that, then like the exponential potential gains from the positions that I've got in those portfolios, I'm like, we might have to be reevaluating some places that we're showing up to, what my schedule is going to be and where I'm living. Like, those are real things. So like, when I see numbers like 250, I'm like, at 250, if it's just Bitcoin at 250, just Bitcoin, that's immediate. And like, I've said that, like, being in the cryptocurrency space has changed my life. That's immediate. Like, that's a whole change, like a very drastic change in how we're going to be navigating, how we're going to be doing things, like the opportunities I'm going to have. And that's just with the Bitcoin. That's not including what happens to the rest of the market, because Bitcoin at 250, where's XRP? Where's Ethereum? Like, because whatever move Bitcoin makes, because we're at 40 now. Hold on, let's do the math. 250 divided by 43. So we're basically at 43,000. That's a 5x there. Bitcoin at 250, that's a 5x. Now, Ethereum normally runs harder than Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin goes to 250 and that's a 5x, we're at 24 now. That puts us at a $12,000 Ethereum. That's just Ethereum. Now, what happens to Solana? We're at what? We're at 100 now. And this is if everything does exactly what Bitcoin does. That's a $500 Solana. Okay. So, yeah, like, the numbers just get, and the deal is this. Normally, the further down the top 10, the top market cap list you go, the higher the jump. So it's not like Bitcoin does a 5x and then Ethereum does a 5x. It's like Bitcoin does a 5x and then Ethereum does like a 12x, an 8x. And then further down, the stuff under Ethereum outperforms Ethereum. Like, oh boy. Like, I mean, that's just something to think about. Obviously there's a lot of hype around the spot Bitcoin ETF approval. We're getting commercials, like they're Bitwise made commercials, that's going to be crazy. Now we'll jump over to the stock market, paper assets. They're expecting Coinbase's revenue to double during the Bitcoin bull run. And that's not even going to, I would say it could more than double, because a lot of people are going to be on there trading. A lot of you are going to be on there trying to play the market. You're going to be buying, you're going to be selling, you're going to be moving and shaking and feeling like you're doing something. You're going to go into the casino, you're going to play. And then you're going to win a little bit. And then you're going to keep playing. It's just going to suck you in. You're going to see those numbers moving. I mean, I check my phone anytime I go to the bathroom, I'm checking my phone. I'm tapped into the market now, and I don't even trade. I just like to know where the numbers are going. I'm like, are we having a good day? Are we having a bad day? Or am I going to have to make some adjustments when I get home? So Coinbase is they're projecting that Coinbase could potentially beat their earnings this next year in 2024 by 10 times, which is going to make their stock go crazy. So your boy might be adding some Coinbase stock in for the year. We might start dollar cost averaging into that. And then I've got I got a couple of price predictions, and these aren't actually as insane as they could be, but they're saying, I saw some Twitter posts that were talking about price predictions. They were expecting Ethereum. They were saying by Q2, we could see a $6,000 Ethereum. And depending on where Bitcoin is, Q2, believable. We might see it before Q2. If Bitcoin goes to previous all-time high before Q2, we could see it then, because Ethereum, I believe, has touched 5,000. I think we touched it before. And then they're talking about an XRP hitting potentially $7. And I've heard multiple people saying that it could reach $10. It's currently at 60 cents, something like that. Also believable. Like, these are all believable things, because the bull run comes and people don't understand crypto numbers, and the magic starts happening. It's going to hit them. They're going to be surprised. They're going to be shocked. Their jaws are going to hit the floor, and it's going to be great. I'm going to be here for it. Navigating, doing crypto bro Aikido the whole time. Y'all going to be losing your minds. I'm going to be making tactical decisions. That's what we're doing. And last but not least, I got a news story for you guys. So we're going to share this one, because obviously we got to talk about, is the recession avoided? Now, I have courtesy of CNBC. Thank you. I've been having, because I think that there's so much misdirection in our media in regards to what's actually going on from a macroeconomic perspective in this country, that, it prompted me to start making this Future Financial Strategies channel, and, this video series, to just talk about other things that we can be doing, because I don't think they've been telling the truth to us this whole time. So they're saying that it's the personal finance column on CNBC, and they said the U.S. avoided a recession in 2023. I think this is blatantly a lie. Blatantly. The price on everything did not come down. We have a YouTube movement where you're all complaining about how you can't afford anything, and the price of stuff didn't come down. Cars at an all-time high, housing at an all-time high, interest rates also at an all-time high. You can't buy a house, you can barely eat, and you can't afford a car. Y'all car broke now. You ain't even house poor no more. You're car poor. To get to and from work, broke. But they're telling us that we avoided a recession. We are actively in the recession. Actively. Look at all the stuff you can't have, that you can't afford. Y'all have given up trying to even impress people with things. Y'all just said YOLO. Y'all just booking trips you can't afford now, because if you're going to be broke, you might as well go see something. We're in the recession. You just didn't stop spending money. You didn't get the note. You didn't do what Reckless Ray De Niro did for them. I'd say the better part of the year. You didn't turtle up. Sit down, hold your head down, eat some noodles. I had noodles for dinner tonight. They were delicious. They were wonderful. I thought, and on the way home, I thought about stopping to go get somewhere, but I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to stop home first. Because it's like pretty long. It's a decent trip. It's like 40-minute trip from the warehouse after we get done working to get to the house. So you got to drop the van off, put the tools away, parts and all that fun stuff. And then I got to drive 40 minutes home. So normally I got to go to the bathroom by the time I get back into the area that I live in. So you get downtown, then there's traffic, then I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to stop by the house. And I stopped by the house and I thought about it, and I was like, do I need to go buy anything? Do I want to? Maybe. But I was like, I got one more killer bowl of noodles with the kimchi. We threw some jerky in there. Like, if you ain't spicing your noodles up with some extra stuff and fixins, you're not doing it right. I had some crunchy cheese curds that were like dried out. I put in there and reactivated. So there was a little cheese, a little meat, some noodles. And then I have kimchi. I bought like a big thing of kimchi from Costco, and it's spicy and it's amazing. I threw the kimchi in there. And then I had some dried seaweed. I threw some dried seaweed in there. We had some shiitake mushrooms in there. It was wonderful. I loved it. Like, I had everything but the soft boiled egg. It was amazing. And it was with things I already had. So like, I didn't have to leave the house and waste gas. And B, I didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount for food. Also, fast food's high. Like, if you go get a sandwich, like you get like a nice sandwich, it's like $20. Burrito bowl, Chipotle, extra meat, $20. Everything's $20 now. It seems like it's like $15 to $20. If you go through a drive-through and get something that's horribly bad for you, it's $15. If you go to a place that sells real meat and foods, like Chipotle, for instance, or even if you go to a sit-down restaurant, like I can go get like gourmet slice of pizza, something like that, and a drink. $20. Like, it's $20 for something that's like less bad for you. And then if you're just going to destroy yourself, it's $15. like at this point, like at the price point that you pay for stuff now, you might as well, like, people who still eat at McDonald's, like, or Burger King or Wendy's or any of those places, it's crazy to me, because at this point, if I do it, it's almost a spiteful experience for myself. Because I mean, at $15, I could literally go anywhere. Like, you could have gone and sat down and gotten actual meat that's not poison. Because you're for $5 more, like, you could have sat down and enjoyed it. Like five more, I'd say $5 more. Like, I mean, at that point, you might as well pay $10 more and sit down, leave a decent tip, hook your server up, and just pay $10, $11, $12 more, and then just go do that and give the money to a person and get a meal that's not just straight poison. Like, we've been in the recession, but they kept lying to us and telling us that we weren't in one. And now they're saying, what's the outlook for 2024? Here's what the experts are predicting. So now they're going to further lie to you. So the U.S. economy avoided the recession forecast for 2023. Unless you buy food, vehicles, housing, rent. I mean, your rents went up. Y'all was moving like 3 times throughout the year. 3 times. And now your girl's on OF selling pictures because you can't pay rent. And she got to go to work. We are in a recession. We in a recession. Experts are now saying a soft landing or mild recession is possible in 2024. What they're trying to tell you here is the recession that you're in, most of you, is about to get worse. It's about to get worse. It's about to get worse. And they're trying to frame it as though it's a soft landing. You're going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. You're probably going to have to move 2 more times instead of 3 times this time around because the rent's still going to go up. And then like food's going to be more expensive so you can eat less, which in America, that ain't really going to be that big of a deal. Most of y'all morbidly obese anyway. It's going to be okay. So like people going to be looking proper fit, but not because they want to be. It's just going to be because you can't eat as much as you used to. And then they're gonna give you some tips to prepare for the unexpected. Now, over here on Future Financial Strategies, we've been giving tips. We've been telling you to get your finances right. We've been telling you to buy Bitcoin. We've been telling you to not save in the market, not be sitting on cash. Keep that cash active. Keep it working. Bare minimum emergency. The rest of the emergency fund in the market. Because stuff's gonna keep getting more expensive. And as soon as they start ticking this interest rate down, the home prices are going to continue to go up. I mean, when I see these news stories, like it is crazy to me because like I buy stuff too. And I'm like, man, I don't like I had to get a Costco membership because going to the grocery store became a burden. Like I need to get things in bulk. Like it's less expensive to go ahead and get that Costco membership and just do all my stuff there. Because going to Walmart and just grabbing a couple of items is $100. Like you go in there and it's just expensive. Like all this stuff is expensive. No matter where you go, it's expensive. Like it just like we've gotta get around this ideology. Like I told you, I went into the recession mode at the beginning, like borderline halfway, like at the beginning, and it's not getting any better. Like it's just not. Like stuff is still expensive. I've seen no reprieve in stuff coming down price wise. I mean, the Costco membership, thank goodness, buying stuff in bulk, like you can make that work. So it's some semblance of what my bills were. And in some areas, honestly, buying in bulk has worked out for me to where I'm buying stuff less, which is good. But that's just crazy going into Walmart. I'm like, this is supposed to be the best price and it's expensive. You order stuff on Amazon, supposed to be the best price, and it's just expensive. And it's just like, well, everything's expensive now. That's the world we live in. Which is fine, I guess, but we've got to be prepared. Actually, you know what? I do want to see what their tips are. We're going to scroll down here. Where are the tips? Give me the tip. 1, reduce your debt balance. We've been talking about that. We've been talking about it. So, okay, that's fine. Stress test your finances. How much of a recession may affect you may come down to whether you still have a job. True fact, because places are going to be laying off. An economic downturn also can create a situation where even those who are still employed earn less, he noted. I mean, I guess we ain't going backwards. We ain't doing that. Boost the emergency savings. Y'all still are pressed to cover a $400 cash expense. Like where do you need $400 cash unless you getting extorted by a Shylock? You living by the mob? Like I don't know. Like I would not be pressed to cover a $400 cash expense. I would just put it on the credit card and I would pull $400 out of the savings. But the cash reserve pool is growing. It's over $400, and that's active cash that we're using in an in-home banking fashion for those of you who are familiar. And we're just borrowing against that cash pool, paying back a little bit of interest and running the numbers up in there. And we're going to just keep banging that out and keep growing it. So we do have that. So that's nice. That said, good Lord. I mean, yeah, I would rather have it in the market. That's all I'm saying. And those were the tips. They just said, don't stress test your finances, reduce your debt balances, and boost your emergency savings. They're coming. They're going to take your jobs. The recession that we're in is going to get worse. And by the time they actually acknowledge that it's a recession, it's going by the time they do that, when they say it's a recession, if we go into 2024 and they say it's a recession, as far as most of you are concerned with the way that things are going to probably play out, it's going to be a depression. And they're going to tell you it's a recession. And they're going to be like, well, it's not that bad. We're not in a depression. And by the time they admit that it's a depression, you guys are all going to be homeless. Like, you're going to be homeless and I'm going to be living van life. Like just rolling around. It's just going to be terrible. And it'll be bedlam in the streets because they're blatantly lying to us about what's going on at this point. Like I don't even know how we can act like that's a thing. Like you can't afford anything, but we're not in a recession. Like no one can afford anything. Everyone's pressed. People are YOLOing trips now. Like you just going on vacation and just being indefinitely poor until the next time you get to go on vacation. Like, and you're not saving money. That sounds like a recession to me / depression, but I digress. I guess they'll let us know when we're no longer going to be able to afford anything. I think we're going to close it out on that note. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. Make sure to tap in with us. We're definitely going to be talking about Bitcoin tonight on Guns and Butter. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. We'll be continuing the conversation. So holla at your boy. It's your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro, and we are out. Peace.